You know, guys, I gotta talk about this, man. This is something, and I'm not being funny, but this is something I've been going through my entire life, being an African American black male. My entire effing damn life. Let me talk about it. This is DJ Wolf Live. All right, guys and gals, I'm gonna take this swig of water because I'm gonna need it. Give me 1 second. And it's 90 something out here in the DMV to this afternoon. I got the air conditioner on blast, full blast, and I can still feel the heat off my console, well, off my dashboard. Let me. All right, now I was thinking about something that have riesling. I don't want to go into detail about it, but let's just say this. I didn't have the exact warm and fuzzies when I was told about this. It made me feel like that I had no right to do the most appropriate thing that I could ever do. And like I said, but this is from a long line of things that I always felt being made, put down my entire life. And guess who was known for doing it? Black women. Yes, black women. My entire life. Really, black women, and I would say some black men. And when I say, I get about that black men in a second. But black women, you know, the women who's supposed to be the most nurturing, the most down for their men and down for their sons and all that other bullshit I've been hearing all my life. You know, they are at times, from a lot of my experiences, are the least supportive people I've ever known. And yes, I'm saying it because for the most part, it's true. You know, I've went through the gamut. You know, we're not perfect, but if a woman is not perfect, if she's like 300-400 pounds, and then I've had women where, you know, if I was even talking to a girl who was big, or big bone, big woman, you know what they say? Be nice to her, you know, and all that stuff. But if you're a guy, the women are expected to be nice to you. They're not. They're not expected to. They can work you over the coals by all kind of stuff, about you being fat, you ain't man enough. They call you all kind of names and stuff, you know, and they'll call you in the heat of an argument just because, and it don't even be your fault, you know. They'll come up with all excuses to ruin a relationship or to get out of a relationship in a heartbeat. They come up with any and every excuse. I went through the gamut on that too, you know, and it's ridiculous. You know, you try to be all collective and calm, and they'll go off on you for no reason. I went through that. And don't y'all tell me that black women don't do that. Don't tell me y'all don't do it. They do it all the time. This is why y'all don't have good relationships with men. Black men or any other men. You know? Don't tell me white, because I had a woman one time. I wasn't with her or anything. We were just friends or co-workers or whatever. And she told me, a black man ain't worth the spit he come from. I'm slightly paraphrasing. She did say spit. But nevertheless, she also said the same around the same time. She said, well, I'm thinking about dating me a white man. Now, first of all, why would you say that first thing about black men to me? I don't date you. I've never dated you. I never even smelled your booty. But that's another story. I ain't never even went there. Never went there at all. You know. And yet, you gonna say that inappropriate thing to me around me. Say it around your girlfriends. I don't want to hear this shit. I could care less. I ain't after you. I don't want you. Never want you. You know? Besides that, we were just working together. It went no further than that anyway. Never did. You know? And the other thing about you wanting to date white men, that's your prerogative. I don't care. You know? I guess it was, in a way, trying to let me know, if there was something there, you couldn't have it. Okay, there ain't nothing there. I didn't want it anyway. But I'll leave it at that. The point blank at that. Because I guess you want me to feel some kind of way or have some kind of comment about that. I had no comment about it. I could care less. But it's just inappropriate that you would say that to try to make me feel some kind of way or thinking that you're going to get a thought out of me about that. I could care less. I really could. You know. But this is somebody that, at her age, nobody wanted anyway. Real talk. You got all them kids. Then nobody wants you. You well over 40. Then nobody wants you no way. And you know that. That's why she was saying that shit. You know. But then again, she's the same typical black woman. I'm strong-willed, strong-minded black woman with all kind of attitude, raising these kids by myself and a blah, blah, blah. You know? Well, no wonder. You're strong-minded, strong-willed. Nobody can tell you anything. You got a whole attitude, and you can do it all by yourself. And you wonder why guys don't date you. Yeah, you don't need me. Shit. You doing all this by yourself in the bag of chips? What do you need me for? You know, especially if you telling somebody that. Especially if you got a lot of mood swings about you, which a lot of them do. And you wonder why brothers don't commit. And I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to tell you the honest gospel. I don't blame them. I really don't. I really don't. You know, I didn't get married till I was 28. Yeah. I was 28 years old when I got married. 28. I know some people got married younger than I did. But I wanted to enjoy my 20s before I got into my 30s. That was my goal anyway. But the thing of it is that I could have stayed single a few more years. I was on the verge of doing just that. I was on the very verge of doing that. I'll be honest. But at some point I got tired of single life. The single life was getting old for me. You know, dating the same type of chicken heads. You know, and then you run to somebody who you really cared about, you saw was a lot different from the other women you would deal with. And you just say, the hell with that shit. You know? But I know I talked to young men, a number of young men recently, and they're well into their 20s, well almost 30. They said, I'm never getting married. You know, I have nieces and nephews who none of them are married, and none of them are in the vicinity of being married. You know, my kids included. Because even though the dating pool is wide open, the post-dating pool after that is not. They just aren't compatible. The women today are way too independent. They don't depend on no man. They got good jobs. They don't depend on no man no more. But then they tell me, oh, I'm be juggling motherhood and all that, and wah. You know? It's like men don't matter now. And this is based on the same women who raise these men, or they attempt to claim they raise them into boys to be men, and they don't know how because they have never been men. They've been women. And the choices that they make in men, that didn't help either. You know. And this is why you have these problems out here today. Because these women aren't capable are built to control young boys out here who wilding out and raging hormones. And you know why? Because they aren't capable of taming them like men can. Men can sit there and build them from the ground up and talk to them and teach them on how to be men from a man's perspective. That's the problem today. You got a lot of women trying to be single, trying to do everything to raise the kids on their own, and they're not successful doing it in most cases, especially when it comes to young black men. You know. And then if they do call themselves raising them, some of them come out a little bit more sweet on the top, if you know what I mean. Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. Can't deny it. You know? Because there was no man in their life. And definitely there was no man in their life consistently. You know? And them same boys who being raised by the mamas, single mamas, them kids are hard-headed as I don't know what. Very hard-headed. Very stubborn. Talk back at you and everything else. No kind of respect. And they try to be the man of the house. I've seen that happen. You know. I had a nephew one time. I don't mind telling this. I went to hug his mom. Right? Do you know he damn near cussed me out because I hugged his mom? What you doing hugging my mama for? I said, 'cause that's your mama and I'm her uncle. You know. Yeah, he got really, like he didn't know who the hell I was. He's saying he knew who I was. He didn't like the fact that the attention was, she was sharing attention to me. And he felt he felt comfortable by it in some strange way. That's the problem. He's too attached to his mama. You know? And that's the problem that we have with these young men being raised by women today. These same women who, I can do it all. That's the problem. Y'all women today, particularly black women, got psyched up into raising boys that they claim they can raise into men that they can't. And in some cases, they're not. At all. You know? Because them boys are too attached to their mamas. To a point, they either have problems, the mother will have problems with having relationships with men because of the boys' attitudes. And they, you know what, not properly being raised right in their single parent household, or they'll get so attached that they want to be just like their mama. Now tell me, am I lying? I'm not saying nothing out of turn. And I know there's some people that know they ain't true. It is true. Y'all know it. It's true. I hate to say it, but it's true. But this is the kind of things we got to change our community. But people don't want to listen to that. People want to just do whatever they want. As soon as they get in trouble, then they want to talk. No. The time of talking and making change in our system, in our lifestyles, our communities is right damn now. Not tomorrow, not next day, not next year, not next month, but right damn now. Because if not, we're going to be in big trouble. And I'm going to say it again. Because if we don't start making those changes today in our communities and start talking about that in our churches and stuff like this, like we should be doing, but they don't, because they don't shun single motherhood. They don't shun girls getting pregnant inappropriately at young ages. They don't shun any of that. And until we do, it's the same old bullshit. Day in, day out. Speaking of that, I am out.